welcome to another episode of Soothing Sunday. I do have Charles with me, and it is morning, so there's going to be household noises. This is a little bit longer of an episode. My kiddo was looking at how many levels I had left, and he's like, Mom, you only have 3 levels. So I decided to put them all in one more episode, although we will go back and try to figure out the rest of them, and then we've got DLC. And after all that, then I think we're going to move on to Power Wash Simulator. I did have to cut out quite a bit of trying to figure this out. I was trying so many solutions. It turns out what I was trying to do in the beginning was correct. I just wasn't precise enough, I guess. Um, anyway, in my Barbie Legacy Challenge this week, I said I was going to talk about my husband doing the Buffalo Wild Wings Challenge, which, if you're not familiar, Buffalo Wild Wings is a chain of wing restaurants. um, but they have this thing called the Blazing Wings Challenge, and you have to eat 10 of what they call their knockout wings, and they are like super duper spicy. My brother and a couple friends went with us, and all of a sudden he was just like, we need to do it, we need to do it, to my husband. And so my husband did end up doing it with my brother, and they both won. And by winning, you get a t-shirt that says you survived the challenge, and then you get to put your picture on the wall after eating 10 wings in 5 minutes, which not a flattering picture. My poor husband, we went to downtown Seattle the next day to go walk around Pike Place Market. And lo and behold, I didn't know this at the time. I didn't know this till the end of that weekend, but I was pregnant, so I was tired. But anyway, he does this challenge, and I have it on video. Poor guy is just struggling the next day, just bad. And he's like, I need to find a bathroom now. It's spicy food, you know? And we finally found one that was open because we got there super early so we could find parking easier. When I tell you, grown men were running out of this bathroom while I waited for my husband to get it. Poor thing. He's like, never again. And then the irony to all of that was my pregnancy cravings very quickly started out like, I need spicy food. So I got ghost pepper salsa, and I started eating the ghost pepper salsa like it was nothing. I was doing chip after chip after chip. And my husband's like, well, obviously it's not that spicy. Like, I can do spicy food okay, but not like that. And he took just one chip and not even a bunch of salsa, just a little bit. And he was like, holy crap, the baby's making you a superhero. I have a picture of him out on the porch, just freaking miserable. Because he had, like, it was so spicy. He was like, I'm going outside to cool down. The poor guy. Oh my god. So funny. So funny. Anyway, real quick, I do want to talk about something else. I figured I could talk a little bit about life lessons and stuff. So, or on Soothing Sunday at least, I was told by somebody when I was hospitalized that I had a really nice voice and I should look into using it for. Excuse me, sir. Does this work? I'm talking. I know you want to talk, but I'm talking. That would be Charles. Anyway, I figured I'd talk about lessons as I learn them and stuff. And something that happened to me this morning was I realized, well, it's been an ongoing thing. Boundaries, right? Trying to set boundaries. Aha, you put that in there. Trying to set boundaries with myself, with friends, and I'm not good at it because of how I was raised. Boundaries weren't allowed because that's disrespectful somehow. I don't know. But then I realized I can't even keep boundaries with my own damn self. I was trying to go without a planner for a while, and we had like some serious stuff going on with my family. Um, and I was like, I'm just gonna go without my planner because there's too much unknown to do. And yeah, that was a mistake. My planner is how to set boundaries with myself. So if you're somebody that also struggles with boundaries, you might want to look into setting boundaries with yourself. That might seem kind of unknown. How do I explain? So it got to the point where I was helping other people so much that I was neglecting my own needs, like taking a shower and stuff. And so when it comes to not being willing to set boundaries with other people, you in turn don't set boundaries with yourself. So I was neglecting my self care of taking a shower or reading or, working on artwork. And everything I enjoy fell behind. And, my personal space, I have a table in front of my favorite chair in the living room. Oh, I guess they were supposed to match the heart. Um, it, uh, it turned into a big mess. And, it's really easy with ADHD to lose motivation, but then when you add trauma on top of it, it's like, I if I write in my planner that I'm setting a boundary, that these are the things I'm going to get done today. I'm going to put my laundry away. Today it's hair wash day. I'm going to wash my hair today. If I set those boundaries down with myself, like I am going to play tug of war with Charles for 5 minutes when he wakes up from his nap, then I do those things. But if I don't put it in my planner, I don't hold myself accountable to those boundaries. And when you're not holding your own self accountable to your boundaries, you're not able to hold other people accountable to boundaries that you put down. And then I've just noticed this trickle down effect. I don't know if you noticed the stop earlier. My kiddo walked in the room real quick to ask me something, so I paused it. And all I said was, "Honey, I'm doing a voiceover." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And then he quickly addressed the situation and he left. That's the easy way to put down boundaries. And Now when it comes to boundaries, oh, see, I thought this was where the end was, and I waited a moment before I figured out what I needed to do. That's funny. Anyway, I've noticed when it comes to boundaries, this takes forever, so I'm going to cut out part of this. It's okay. It's okay. It's not a real kitty. It's a game kitty. Um, anyway, I had this problem myself, thinking that boundaries, putting them down, especially when you're used to adults in your life putting down boundaries. Oh, this. Now you get to be the kitty and screw things. Oh, no, wait, that's later. This is further problem solving that I wasn't expecting to do at this point. Anyway, boundaries, when I was a child, boundaries were always put down to me in the firmest, meanest way possible. Don't do that. Like that kind of thing, right? And it's not conducive to a child's mental health. It's honestly not conducive to your own mental health as a parent either. Um, so instead, sitting and talking calmly about things is the absolute best way to put boundaries down. And like I said, that was something I struggled to learn myself. And it's kind of funny. Like I went and spoke to a spiritual friend of mine, and we had conversations about this. It's like there's a lot of people that I've been dealing with that they want help, they want to get better, but then they don't want to do it. Kind of like she said something about a hammer, but then I kind of it's like somebody calls you over to help build furniture, and for some reason it didn't come with the manual, so you print it off and you bring your tools with because you have tools and they don't. So you're like, here's the things you need to help you build this furniture, and I'm willing to hang out with you while you figure it out. But then they kind of what is it? Weaponized incompetence. They're like, "Oh, but you do it so much better than I do." So that's basically what it is when you get far enough healing, is there's going to be people in your life that are just like, well, I don't want to do this. And it starts out with, can you show me how? Can you give me advice? And then it turns into them not wanting to put in the work. And how did she put it? Pushing things as far as they can go in life to see how close they can get to a screw up and completely blowing things up before they get rescued. And the expectation is to be rescued because the precedent has been set. So if you're a chronic people pleaser like I am, then unfortunately it's a hell of your own making. And um, she put it like it's not even like a friend at this point, it's concerned sibling. But at a certain point, you really gotta because the friends that I was discussing with this new friend that I have that's spiritualist like I am, it was you know, these older friends that I was discussing with her, we've known each other for decades, decades, the majority of our lives. And she's like, so yeah, it's a concerned sibling thing, but at the same time, everybody's an adult, and how is like being able to move forward in life, which that weirded me out because I had done a reading for myself, and if you're scared of tarot cards, just know they're paper with pictures on them. You're in control, but it's about getting guidance for life, is what it is. Which is why I do them. Not everything's going to be about you if you're looking at like a general online reading or whatever, but it can still offer some guidance if things kind of like, oh, that makes sense for me, right? So, anyway, I was doing a reading for myself, and I came across this message that was like really hit at home, which was, do you want to live or do you want to stay stagnant? Because if you stay with other people's complacency and stagnance, then you yourself will automatically become stagnant. You can't float on and then it was like a further message, if you can't float on stagnant water and expect to go anywhere like you would like floating on a moving river. And that stuck with me. So like if you're feeling like people in your life are stagnant and not willing to heal, then it's time to let them. Yeah, this took a while. It's time to let them work out their own stuff. And it doesn't mean you don't love these people in your life, but it does mean if your boundaries aren't respected, unless you put them down extremely harshly in a way you're not comfortable with, then it's time to start slowly letting things go and move away. And so that's what I'm trying to do um, with some of these friends. Some of them are making huge efforts and huge strides, and I'm very proud. So it's not all of my friends. It's just there are times with certain ones of them where I just have to, let it go, um, and move forward. And things can change, of course. But here's where I was talking about where you can be the kitty. But for now, it's easiest for me to just kind of keep to myself a little bit and try to foster new friendships and see how life changes as I work on those things. You never know. Leading by example could be a way to help others. But I also have a tendency when I hang out with a lot of my old buddies to kind of become arrested development. I act like a 13-year-old, and it's not something that goes back to normal very easily. Um, and it's not healthy for me. And until I can figure out how to separate uh, the feeling of being 13 around my friends that causes me to become a 13-year-old when I hang out with them, then it's time apart. And it's really hard to explain that. Um, but we'll get there eventually, I'm sure. And that's part of what I was talking about, the putting down boundaries. Um, it's hard to explain to people, like, I want to hang out, and I realize on the surface, like, hanging out and talking is good for mental health. But for me, it's not good because I get, and honestly, quite a few of them has nothing to do with them, and it just has to do with my body goes to, because your body holds trauma. And they were my safe place from my trauma when I was a child. And so when I talk to them, hang out with them, have phone conversations, I slip right back to being 13. And that also makes me feel unsafe in my own home, which I am safe. But I wasn't safe in my home when we were hanging out. And so my body can't tell the difference yet. And so I'm trying to retrain my brain. Because at the end of the day, your brain's just a wet computer that's trying to keep you safe. And so it automatically develops patterns. But I'm working with neuroplasticity courses to help retrain my brain and my body. It just takes a long time, you know? And so hopefully I can figure out a way to discuss that with the people in my life. But yeah, anyway, we've reached the end, obviously, with the credits. And like I said, we will be figuring out the rest of the puzzles and working on DLC before we move on to another one. But hopefully you liked more of this like little story time and discussion. I feel like it keeps a lot of that chaotic back and forth out of the regular stuff, and I know I can talk about it soothing and calm on these videos. So, anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye! And Charles says bye too.